passing of Bhishmadev and his instructions to the Yadu dynasty and everyone else. So, Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 12. Aho kastam, aho yam yam.
Aho kastam, aho yam yam.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Jivitum narata kristam.
Jivitum narata kristam.
Vipradama Chuta Swayaha. Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Yadi yuyam dharmanandana.
Yadi yuyam dharmanandana.
Jivitum narata kristam.
Jivitum narata kristam.
Vipradama Chuta Swayaha. Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Jivitum narata kristam.
Jivitum narata kristam.
Vipradama Chuta Swayama.
Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Jivitum narhata klishtam.
Jivitum narhata klishtam.
Vipradharma chitachraya.
Vipradharma chitachraya.
Mataji's
Aho kastam aho nyayam.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Yad yuyam dharmanandana.
Jivitum narata krishtam.
Jivitum narhata klishtam. Vipradharma chitachraya. Aho kastam aho nyayam. Yad yuyam dharmanandana. Jivitum narhata krishtam. Vipradharma chitachraya.
okay. Aho. Oh. Word for word translation. Translation of the book by Divine Grace is from Maharaj, the AC, Bhakti, Swami, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Kastam. What terrible suffering. Aho. Oh. Anyayam. What terrible injustice. Yet. Because. You young. All of you good souls. Dharmanandana. Sons of religion personified. Jivitum. You remain alive. Now. Never. Araka. Desire. Kristam. Suffering. Vipra. Brahmanas. Dharma. Ayati. Achyuta. God. Aswayama. Being protected by. Translation. Vishmadev said, oh, what terrible sufferings, what terrible injustices you good souls suffer for being the sons of the religion persona. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. Yet, you were protected by the Brahmanas, God and religion. Please respond to it. Vishmadev said, oh, what terrible sufferings, what terrible injustices, you good souls suffer Yudhishthira was stopped due to the great massacre in the battle of Kurukshetra. Bhishma Dev could understand this, and therefore he spoke forth of the terrible sufferings of Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was put into difficulty by injustice only, and the battle of Kurukshetra was fought just to counteract this injustice. Therefore, he should not regret the great massacre. He wanted to point out particularly that they were always protected by the Brahmanas, the law, and religious principles. As long as they were protected by these three important items, there was no cause of disappointment. Thus, Vishnu Dev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthira to dissipate his despotism. As long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, one has no cause for despotism, however trying the circumstances of life. Bhishma Dev, as one of the authorities in the line, wanted to impress this point upon the Congress. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sahodito, Bhagavai, Puskavanto, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutaya Swami Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswate Gaur Brahma Vishana Namaste Saraswati So, welcome to this morning the class segment of the morning festivities. In our festivals, every day begins at when we commence our programs in the morning. So, is what we call in America party, you know. We are social beings, so people like to party. And also as spiritualists, or as parents of devotional culture, as parent devotees, we also don't neglect that social aspect of our human values. And therefore the acharyas have set up a system that we come together every morning to get together, to party. But the party is Krishna conscious centered. And so we have praises, we sing songs to praise the Lord, and people in general have not conducted a quantitative study, so I can't say everybody likes partying. The majority of people, to be selected in the choice of words, so that we don't get implicated, because if you say, everyone likes partying, and then the question is, have you conducted a quantitative research, an ethnographic research in different cultures to figure out that everyone likes partying? We have not done that. You cannot generalize. You cannot say everyone. In fact, the term everyone in most cases, it's not applicable in what people really refer to. So, majority of people they like a party, and so the acharyas have developed a system where we come together to party, but we party for Krishna. So this segment of the party is having to do with discussions on the glories of the Lord and His devotees. And here, in this very chapter of the Bhagwatam, is centered on Bhishma's passing away and his instructions to the assembled sages and the devotees of Lord Krishna. Krishna himself was there. Srila Vyasadeva was there. Sutta Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami, Parasara. So, think about any of the sages you have had in the Vedic historiography was there when they had Bhishma was passing away, so everybody came. This is the symptom of a highly elevated soul. Highly elevated soul is passing away. People want to hear, what is his last instruction for me? So, even Lord Krishna came there, and the understanding is that, Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajans, and when people hear that he was passing away, they want to come and hear his very terrible instructions. Mahajan passing away. Can you imagine? So the great fortune of the Pandavas. And sometimes people query that Bhishma was a Mahajan or is a Mahajan. So why didn't... So on the principles of religion, and this is a war, according to Prabhupada's purpose, that was fought to counteract the injustices made out to the Pandavas. I mean, it's like what is going on in Ukraine. When the Russians want to attack, the other countries, they didn't just sit back. In fact, Biden, the US president, called him that, hey, you want to attack Ukraine? He said, no. But the soldiers were lying up there with armors and everything else, yet he was denying that any attack. So, if someone does not stand up for Ukraine, what is his problem? If someone did not stand up for the Pandavas, for the injustices made out of the Pandavas, what is your problem? Yes, so can someone tell us why Bhishma Dev did not fight on the side of the Pandavas against the Kuravas? If the men don't know, ask the ladies, and they will tell us, and you'll be ashamed, because we always think that, we are, Yes, the men, can anyone tell us? Yes, tell us.
Vasudeva know that if he will not participate from the Kaurava side, then Duryodhana is not so much faith that any other can win. He is so much rely on Bhishma Deva. If he will not fight, then it is very much possible that altogether the fight will be cancelled. It is not the will of the Lord. So for that reason, Bhishma Deva carried out his fight will be there.
Thank you. It's a good point. Can anyone add something to the call? Yes.
Actually, Vishwadev is being maintained by the money of Vikas and Duryodhana. So that was the reason that he participated from the side of the Kauravas. The other reason is that a big lesson to teach us. Even if one is Mahajan, even if one is not no dharma, but if one takes the side of the dharma, then it will be.
Thank you. That's the call. The person, if you're loyal, if someone is feeding you, you have to be loyal to the person. And if even you are not willingly loyal, you have been proposed. There is a proposition, tacitly, unspokenly, Someone is taking care of you. You. Someone is taking care of you. You have been proposed. You to be committed to protect that person. As soon as you receive services from somebody, you are being proposed to be committed to protect that person. So Bhishma Dev was being fed by the Kauravas, by Duryodhana. So it would be terrible evil, injustice on his own, being met out to the Kauravas if he did not take fight on the side. They were the ones, in fact, someone challenged him. I think Draupadi challenged him on his dead bed of arrows. Hey, Maharaja, you talking all these big things about leadership. What were you doing when I was being derobed in the assembly? And you took the side of the Pandavas to fight. Are you talking big philosophy now? Sometimes people think Indian women, they are just too submissive. That even in those days, Draupadi could challenge Bhishma. Can you think about this? A man did not challenge Bhishma. A woman challenged Bhishma. Hey, you're speaking big philosophy. What were you doing when I was being derobed? And you fought on the side of the Kauravas. And Bhishma explained that actually the Kauravas were maintaining me. So I imbibed their culture of injustice. It was in my blood. But right now, on this bed of arrows, I have become purified of that contaminated blood. All those food that I'm eating from the Pandavas, the blood has oozed out from the arrows pierced on my body. So I become purified from that impurity. He said he was contaminated by accepting services, by being fed by the Kauravas. And so, contamination is like an intoxication. You're contaminated, you do things against even your better judgment. And that is why, whom we associate with matters a lot. Yeah. So, these very lessons from Bhishma's passing away is so relevant to modern day reality and problem solving. So here's the point. You're taking services from somebody, understand that you have been propositioned to be committed to protect that person. Typical example is the case of Bhishma Dev. This is called a narratology, a case study. So, everybody who assembled there could understand that what the messages that Bhishma Dev was passing out was relevant to their future development. Because at that time, when after the war, Yudhishthira is like Dharma personified. He was feeling despondent. He was feeling morose. He was not happy that he engaged all these 40 million people. How many million people died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Yes? How many million people died on the field of Kurukshetra? Hey, the man, look, don't disgrace yourself, okay? Yes? How many millions of people died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Huh? Are you sure? You sure or you're speculating? If you're sure, let me know. You're sure? 64 million people. 64 crores. That's how many millions?
640.
Huh?
640 million.
So, the point is that people are talking of deaths. How many people died during the First World War or the Second World War? It didn't near that. It didn't near that number. It didn't near that number. But this was a war that that took place at Kurukshetra. Not that they were fighting on this continent and go to the other continent and go and bomb Hiroshima and do this, but just one location, and they were not killing civilians. That's a culture of war. You battle the other Kshatriyas. You don't go and start killing civilians. You don't send missiles to civilian society. This is completely barbaric. They are not Kshatriyas. People who act in that way, who violate the norms in warfare, are not Kshatriyas. In fact, the people who these days, the people who even initiate the wars, it's like the people. Someone is going to usurp land in Ukraine, and none of his family members is in the war front. He stays in a cozy office and other innocent people to go and die. He never went to the war front. Never. But Yudhishthira and his brothers, who were fighting for the injustice, they were the ones at the war front. See the difference? They were the ones at the war front. So these days, there is so much of cheating that is going on. And, people don't even reason, You think that any of Putin's family members is in the army? No. In the war front? No. Any of his grandchildren? Any of his children? No. At least Hitler is better than even, some of these people. Because Hitler was fighting himself. He was a Kshatriya. So, in the purport here, Prabhupada mentioned that if someone is aligned with Dharma, following Vedic standard, it doesn't mean that you will not be confronted with challenges. But as long as you're being guided by Brahmanas, by spiritual authorities, and you align with the scriptures, you are following the standard required of you. But this does not imply that you will not have problems. You may have problems, but you ultimately will be protected. Sometimes also people, query that, Krishna said that surrender unto me and I will protect you. But see, I'm suffering, and I've been chanting the Hare Krishna mantra for so many decades. So where is Krishna? Where is Krishna's protection? So the case of the Pandavas is a striking example. It doesn't mean that. See, we are using only one lifetime to try to perfect our existence. And we have lived for millions and billions of lifetimes. Lifetimes of injustices to ourselves, to others, to material nature. And we think everything is just going to be, rosy in this very one lifetime. It's like someone doing a crash program. In academia, if you're doing a crash program, say the degree program is supposed to be like 5 years, and you're doing a crash, they provide a crash program for you. The coursework that should take 5 years could be bunched out for just 2 or 3 years. So you have more work to do. I remember, somebody was trying to do Bhakti Sastra program, and there was, the Bhakti Sastra takes like, in Mayapur, it takes like 2.5 to 3 months. I think in Vrindavan it takes like 6 months or something. In some places it's like 1 year. So in Mayapur, they were doing something like a crash program of just 1 month. And this devotee, he came from another country. He was trying to do a Bhakti Sastra program. I said, oh, they're having a Bhakti Sastra program in Mayapur. But it's a crash program, 1 month. He said, oh, it's too much for me. I get So yes, we also feel like that. No, I'm suffering too much. There is a crash program. It's a crash program. If we simply follow what Prabhupada has given to us, we follow the regulatory principles, we do service in this court. And we endeavor to spread the message of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said he has it meet. And so Prabhupada gave a very relevant point to us in this purpose. That, it didn't deny the fact that, once you're a devotee, you're not going to have problems. The Pandavas. Krishna was even their cousin, he was their messenger. But they suffered so much of injustice before ultimately justice prevailed. So, we have to imbibe a culture of tolerance, forbearance, and be focused in our devotional service. Because the ultimate goal is to be able to attain pure love for Krishna, go back to God. And Prabhupada said that anybody can attain that goal. Anybody can go back to God. Whether you're a child, you're a woman, you're a man, old, young, anybody can do that. Prahlad, he was just 5 years old. Dhruva Maharaj, he was just 5 years old. So, it's important for us to understand that the instructions of Bhishmadev apply to all of us. And we imbibe that culture of emergency consciousness in our Krishna consciousness practice. We will always be in the mood of waiting for death with Krishna consciousness. Any comments or questions? Yes, any comments? Yes. Okay.
You said that Bhishma has eaten the food of Kauravas.
Bhishma is what?
Bhishma has eaten the food of Kauravas usually. So he has to protect he is proposed to protect the Kauravas. But we see on the ultimately if Duryodhana and any other Kaurava is committing any offense on the lotus feet of devotees, then they will suffer too much. So Bhishma has to think in that way also. That on the ultimate way he is not protecting.
Yeah, that is the right way to think. But he said that his consciousness was polluted from the food being fed to him by the road. But as at the time that he was leaving his body, he said the blood, the contaminated blood that accrued to pollute his consciousness from that food has oozed out, and so he has become purified. That was his answer to Prabhupada. So yes, he was supposed to. But you see, if you are intoxicated, your consciousness is polluted. Yeah, even your values become. So yeah, that was the right thing. But he said at that time he was contaminated with consciousness. That's a good acceptance, and it's a good lesson. And you know, during the time of the Rupa of the Goswamis, you know, they were, in India, Swamis were very, very strict. But you know, history history keeps repeating itself. You know, somehow or the other. Another lady challenged Rupa Goswami. You know that lady?
Yeah.
Eh?
We know why.
Huh?
Maharaj, if I'm not wrong, the Mirabai challenge was
Mirabai. Yeah, that's singer. That's celebrity. So Mirabai was in Vrindavan during the Rupa Goswami's time. And Rupa Goswami was very popular. So Prabhupada told this story. she wanted to have darshan of Rupa Goswami. And she sent a message. But Rupa Goswami responded that he's a Swami. You cannot give darshan to a woman. So Amirabai responded that, I thought we are all females. Krishna is the only Purusha, that we are all Prakriti. Okay, so listen. Suppose you are the person who is so exalted that Rupa Goswami, and a woman comes to challenge you like that. And in India, not in America. So we see the culture of Draupadi consciousness is still there. Even the time of Rupa Goswami, that culture was manifest in the interaction between Mirabai and Rupa Goswami. So what was Rupa Goswami's response? He said, yes, you are right. Yeah, so it's a good, there are good lessons in the Vedic literature about how even someone in leadership position should be a good listener, and they should be about the reality and not defensive. Rupa Goswami was not defensive. Bhishma Dev was not defensive. He accepted. And the person you can least expect in India to challenge such a leader is a woman. And women actually rule the world. You know? Even in India, the president is a woman, right? President of India is a woman. Huh?
My name is Mrs. Draupadi.
Okay. Draupadi again. Yeah, and the whole of the cosmic creation is ruled by women. Material world is ruled by a woman, Durga. And the spiritual world is ruled by a woman, Radharani. I don't know whether the women they know all this, and they should have been reminded the man, hey, you don't know that we are the rulers? The most important department, Universal Department of Education, is ruled by a woman, Saraswati. Oh yeah. The most sensitive positions in the universe are governed by women. Even in the spiritual world, the most sensitive positions with women with females are occupied. Oh yeah. So any comment, any other question? Okay, in the absence of any other, okay, yeah.
We should understand from this that even when a Maharaj like Vishnu there, because he started taking wrong
polluted. He was polluted.
For that thing, our situation is very, very risky, so how to be careful?
Oh yeah. Even apart from the fact that we have to be careful, we need to understand also that bad association could create problems for us as satsang. And that is also explained by the German psychologist in his field theory in 1938. This German psychologist, Professor Levin, did develop the field theory in which he established scientifically that the environment impacts on our values. And it's like you go to Mayapur or you go to Vrindavan, whether you like it or not, it impacts on your consciousness. The way you chant in Vrindavan and Mayapur, the quality is not the same when you leave those theaters. So that is the interpretation of the field theory. So yes, our association matters a lot. There is a common material slogan that show me your booties and I will tell you who you are. You know? Show me your friends, show me the people you associated with, and I will tell you who you are. Yeah. So thank you. It's a nice point. So Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagwatam,